The last video I talked about Walt Disney World Explorer, and I've been sort of going down this rabbit hole recently of like Disney licensed games and weird Disney interactive games. I want to explore that a bit further, so I'm going to keep doing these Disney game videos until I get bored and move on to other game videos probably. So yeah, here's the video. The kart racing genre of video games is a pretty universally understood idea. You go as fast as you can around a track, and you use items to ruin other people's days. That's it. It's that one sort of game that anybody can pick up and play without needing to know anything. They've also got the advantage of being a game that people of all ages can play, because they don't have any gratuitous violence or anything like that. Unless of course I'm racing on Mushroom Gorge or Mario Kart Wii and I get knocked off the bouncing mushrooms on the last lap. Then we're going to have a problem. But for the most part, it's no wonder that after Nintendo's success in the genre, a whole load of other companies would try their hand at making a karting game. For example, we've got the Crash Racing series. Crash Tag Team Racing's got this whole other side to the game with the theme park. It's a really cool way to make a racing game wholly its own thing and not just rely on doing the same tracks over and over again. But then we've got things like M&M's Kart Racing. This one I think the developers needed to take a step back for a minute and just ask themselves, why? Why did we let this happen? Now, on the other hand, Garfield's Kart. You may be skeptical at first, but trust me, just read those glowing user reviews and you'll be converted. Mario Kart for intellectuals. Please help me. God, I love Garfield. My wife left me. Lazaga. Anyway, back in 2000, it was clear to our guys at Disney that they too needed a karting game to compete with the greats. And so we got this, Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour. Hold on. What's that? I don't remember seeing this off-brand Scrooge McDuck from Toon Disney. In fact, I don't remember most of these characters that we pass on our fly through Main Street. I guess we've got Chip and Dale here in their Rescue Rangers outfit, and Jiminy Cricket, but I don't know any of the rest of them. Maybe this guy could be Brer Bear, but according to the character select screen, he's actually Mo Whiplash. You know, Mo Whiplash, the iconic Disney character. Yeah, he was in the back of Goofy Movie 2 for 5 seconds. Seems like apart from those first three, the rest of the characters in the game have just been made up. It's a bit strange that they had to make up characters for a game that was licensed by Disney Interactive, especially for a game that's meant to be a Disney-themed kart racer. I mean, there's no Mickey Mouse, there's no Donald Duck, no Mortimer from House of Mouse. I went with Chip because him and Dale are the only ones I could select that I actually know. Plus I like his hat. It's a good hat. The story for the game is pretty detailed, so listen up. There's a lot of twists and turns, and personally I'd recommend reading the 10-part manga if you want to be fully up to date. But in short, 3D Jiminy Cricket explains that Chip and Dale found a thing called a magic machine in the parks, and they accidentally dropped some of their acorns in it. Don't you just hate it when that happens? You're minding your own business, standing near some machine, and whoops, all of your acorns just spill out of your pocket and directly into it. You know what I think? This doesn't look very accidental to me. No, this was deliberate sabotage. It looks like Dale's just shoveling those acorns into that machine. So this makes the machine blow up and scatter pieces all over Disney World, and it turns out that the machine is actually what makes the nighttime fireworks show work. So now you have to find all the pieces across the resort to put the machine back together. So to get the parts, you have to complete 12 stages, each themed to a different area of the park. Some of the stages are races and some are timed coin collections. In the races, you've got your typical 3-lap race, but to get the part, you've got to come in first. Now the thing is, these racing stages are actually pretty difficult. You wouldn't think that with this being a game that's marketed to children, but coming in first can actually take quite a bit of effort. My main problem with the difficulty is it feels like if you made a mistake and lose the lead, it can be really hard to gain it back. And if one of the AI gets lucky and gets a huge lead, it can be near impossible to win. So it ends up being better a lot of the time to just restart the race. I wouldn't have had a huge problem with this if it weren't for the fact that it feels like the majority of the difficulty is completely artificial, so it's heavily based on the random chance that you just get hit with an item. When I'm in front in Mario Kart, for example, even if there still is that random element, if I lose the lead, it does to some extent feel like it was my own fault. But in this case, you could just get hit with 3 acorns in a row on the last lap and have nothing you can do about it. I can enter any race in this game and guarantee that I'll get hit with multiple items, and if I get turned into a frog by Polly Roger one more time, I swear to God, you guys. Once you figure out your own tactic for avoiding items for as long as possible, it becomes a little bit easier to win, so it's not completely impossible, but it can be annoying at first. The only issue is if you want to play more than the first 2 tracks, you've got to do the unlocking method. And if you think, I'm going to sit here and come first in every single race, just to see all the tracks and to give Chip and Dale their fireworks back, then you'd be right. Some of these tracks are actually pretty nicely themed. I like the Jungle Cruise one a lot, though my personal favourite is probably the dinosaur one. This bit at the start where you go through the time portal and come out in Dinoland is pretty sick. And not to mention Dinosaur is Disney World's underappreciated gem of an attraction. Am I right, my one heck of a paleontologist, Dr. Seeker? Some of the other tracks though are not as great. Blizzard Beach is basically just a generic snow themed track, and Big Thunder Mountain is also kind of generic western themed. Overall, this isn't really a review, but I'd say it's a good game. It's not Mario Kart, it's a cool little idea with a few nice areas, but it's not completely fleshed out. If you want a score like a review, I guess 7 out of 10 Chip 'n Dales. Remember though, Chip 'n Dales, as we all know, is an exponential scale, so just take from that what you will.